You've got the Magnus with RP, which does do a lot of work for these late game scenarios. So perhaps G2IG if you're expecting a longer game here. But in a higher tempo game for Azure, the push is strong here. Like, you've got Nature's Prophet, who can be active really early on as well. So I think it's on Azure to actually play that faster game. If it drags out, it's not that they scale back in power, but it is a little bit simpler for G2IG in my view.
Oh, well, there we go. Yeah, it really does feel like it can go either way here. We can't wait to see how this well, rather this Game 5 does go. No messing around here from JT so far with the stickers or sprays, by the way. Looks like he's gotten serious. AR not messing around too much either.
"30 seconds to battle."
Smoke is there though. G2IG, I mean, thinking about maybe going with a wraparound through the river. More wards to be placed. Radiant Triangle now going to be occupied here by G2IG. F1 team fight. I mean, it's still possible. Bark, he's going to break the smoke. Also, then will not make the jump anyway. It'll be a 2-for-2 trade on the bounty runes. Both sides will go back to their respective lanes. And, well, of course, as per usual, we'll start with the mid lane. John, you're going to have nothing to say against Ori. So the Quap versus the Zeus matchup. Who do you favor when it comes to this mid lane matchup?
I think it's rather even. Scream of Pain range is actually pretty wide, so you can catch out nothing to say. But as long as he sits behind the creeps and just plays with Arc Lightning, it shouldn't be too rough. Ori will always have the ace up with Shadow Strike, of course. The additional sustain that the Zeus does not have is going to be something that can build up here. Otherwise, rather even. Maybe slightly easier for... Honestly, it's the same for both. I wouldn't say it's slightly easier for either one. It's pretty playable for both. A support rotation makes or breaks it. And again, Ori probably has a better time with damage with Shadow Strike. He has some sustain mechanism to trade blows with nothing to say here.
Of course, top lane, you're looking at Monet and X-Nova against Bark. As well as that FY on the Prophet. FY has been a real standout throughout this series, John, I gotta tell you. Been playing fantastic here in the POS 4. Been a real nuisance on heroes like the Batrider that we've seen, the Hoodwink, of course, and now in the Prophet, I'm sure we're going to see some pretty disgusting things from the man once again.
Yeah, and it's early levels, but trading right clicks with X-Nova is always a little bit better here for the Prophet. Does start off with the 2 circlets for a little bit more stats as well, and always just, it forces X-Nova to actually just go for the Quelling Blade, right? Like, as a support, it's not the best feeling to have a Quelling. It's some gold you could have spent on more sentries, more regen, so it's an economical waste here for the side of G2IG, but it's something you have to have, as the Nature's Prophet is just a threat. Top lane is going to be a little bit more passive overall, outside of just FY playing poke with X-Nova, but again, Quelling Blade saves the day, so it's not too bad here for our little Pugna.
Bottom lane, you do have Baboka, you've got JT, they're going to be up against Lo and Tianming. Pretty good time for both sides down in the bottom lane. Looks like Lo not struggling to find any kind of CS, JT not struggling either. Might be one of those even styles of trading lanes here between these two. Obviously a bit of kill potential here between JT and Baboka, but it seems like it's just going to be all the emphasis on just farming.
And it is. I do like that they've cut basically the entire left tree side, so there's no easy setup for Baboka to land a bushwhack down the line, just ensuring that they don't get that free harassment. They also save the courier of Tianming as it walks up. Good stun up by Lo. Does keep track of that. And we'll be able to snag away the Lotus. This does open up some trade possibilities to play a little bit more on edge for the side of G2IG, but again, just focus on that farm. This is one consistent thing from these series. And both sides do like to poke in lane, but if there's a risk, they just want to farm.
Bark's having the best time on the map right now in this tide. I mean, top CS 19-0. Not really contested whatsoever by Monet and X-Nova. Obviously, the Slark may want a few more levels up before even trying to go for Bark. Doing a very good job of just keeping the creep waves kind of split up here. Is nothing to say in mid lane. Already having to rotate for a bounty rune for himself on the Zeus, so having a bit of a tougher time here in the mid. Already top of the CS board now on the Queen of Pain. Slowly has overtaken NTS, so do with that what you will. I mean, it is still very even between these two. As top lane FY now being chased will be okay. Bark actually going after Monet. Bark or X-Nova securing first blood, but Monet is going to go down. Bark able to secure a trade. First blood gold though going the way of X-Nova.
It's a nice pickup. You get the additional EXP, I suppose, for the Tidehunter because it's a solo kill. So that might actually just be more important for Bach. He doesn't mind FY dropping, FY as well. He gets the opportunity to just go mid, get the bottle top up. Not too much loss. It's much more detrimental to lose Monet in exchange. And again, free EXP for Bach to ride into level 5, level 6, where the threat of killing him starts to fade away. Down bot.
JT in a bit of danger. Does heal up. Oh, the blood grenade.
Ooh.
Oh, he survives on 3 HP. 3 HP. The one charges will give him just enough to make it up. And now Baboka does kind of get left behind, gets caught with his pants down, and he's gone. FY will take the kill.
And that's the activity you want to see from Nature's Prophet early here. So very nice for FY to start to find these openings. And again, you've got a Tide laning partner top. You don't need to babysit that hero. So you are free to just make these rotations for FY. We'll have to walk back home. But again, it's an opportunity by the time he's there to go for another bottle refill on the mid lane. Don't manage to connect. It is going to be hard to pin down Ori for the side of G2.iG. Again, very slippery hero. Just bushwhack, pretty telegraphed stun. So finding the angles to set up onto the Quap. Going to be a consistent challenge for G2.iG here. Azure coming out on top. Again, you mentioned the free lane for Bach lined up. Melee matchup for a Tidehunter is always great for the Tide to just dominate and go for the anchor smash. And again, there's just no way to contest here, really. They do at least snag away the amplified damage rune from X-Nova. So, cutting away resources for Ori to look to play aggressive. Gonna be stuck mid. But you don't mind. All of your side lanes are farming. So, you're just happy to get that momentum.
Oh, Bach being chased here by Monet, though Monet's the one dropping quite low. Bach actually chasing him on the Tide. The Slark not really finding the advantage he would have hoped for here in this laning phase. Spark is just kind of manning up every single time with the anchor smash, and of course with the presence of FY TPing in like that, you certainly can't hope to take down the Tide.
No. It's a lot of durability on the side of Bach. I mean, phase boots up with that additional armor. It is pretty painful, and again, you're Slark trying to right-click a Tidehunter with Anchor Smash. Even though you do get the Essence Shift stacks, it's not like you have a follow-through damage here from X-Nova with a Blast. So, just a little bit tougher to try to get that. At the very least, their Wisdom Rune does not get snagged away. Baboka will find the first one for his team. FY will just take their own. So, no shenanigans there. Keeping parity so far. But again, Azure are starting to pull ahead in that farm. 2k lead already established 7 minutes in. Low with the freest lane of his life here, in comparison to Monet struggling on his Slark. And JT not getting as much activity as he'd want on the mag. I mean, he is finding decent farm. He is bottom network core. So there is some recovery that has to come out for G2.iG. Ooh.
Ravage out from Bach. Monet still able to find an angle to pounce away. Bach still chasing him down,
Ooh.
but the Thunder God's Wrath coming in from nothing to say. FY, he will at least get the TP out. But Bach trying with the Ravage. It does not pay off. In fact, it hands a kill back the way of G2.iG.
Yeah, and it's a great kill for nothing to say to find. Oh.
They're trying to go after the Zeus, nothing to say. It is going to pay off. FY even showing up just in case they needed it. Tianming, he'll survive through the damage output.
And he does. Playing on edge, but they do get good punishment to take down that Zeus. Otherwise, if they left that Zeus unchecked, I mean, that was a huge spike in gold. Finding that kill up top. A pretty risky move from Azure. Bach maybe feeling a little bit impatient, just wants some action going, but he is a high enough core that dies. It's a very worthwhile kill. They interrupt the skewer of JT, but have no follow-up stun to stop the TP. Still, despite that loss, he still maintained his 2k lead for Azure, but once the pickoffs start lining up for G2.iG, you should be concerned. Like, Nothing to Say is reaching into the phylactery timing, and once that's up and he shows up in the lane, you've got this great combination with the Pugna, right? This is where the Pugna makes the most sense. When Zeus comes in, just easy decrep, burst down with phylactery. Not much counter action to save here on the side of Azure.
Wex Nova getting a little bit close there to FY. Does manage to back his way out though before the Sprout will lock him in. Mid lane, Ori. Bushwhack's going to land. He does still blink away. He's going to be just fine. They don't really have the follow-up disable to hold down the Quap. Tianming trying to soak some XP by the looks of it here against JT. Lowe's going to show up to boot on the Luna. They do see the Wyvern underneath their vision, so an RP to come out from JT. Low and FY, they're going to show up. JT skewering back the other way. FY still chasing him down with the Sprout. Might have the kill and does. FY able to secure. Nothing to say in the meantime. Dropping quite low. He is in huge trouble. And he will also drop to Ori. So another bunch of great kills happening for Azure.
Yeah, they've got the response. Just instant reaction. They've got such high mobility with the Quap and with the NP to just get on top of these heroes. And they managed to punish. Like, JT was just trying to get some catch-up for him, work into that blink, and go onward, but isn't even able to get that space out for himself. So, have to watch out. I mean, Azure, this is the power of that NP. This is the power of the Quap. They can show up early. Mage Slayer up now as well for Ori. So if he gets on top of Nothing to Say, the damage output you're expecting from Zeus is severely mitigated by that debuff. Like, you know, you were saying Jack was asking for any Conda haters here. I think Mage Slayer is the one that is actually the more boring item. That is in full meta here.
Absolutely. Baboka. Oh, there's a curse out. Baboka's going to get caught with a lovely curse into the Sonic Wave from Ori. That'll be Baboka gone. And Nothing to Say next Nova. They will survive through it. JT also hanging around to defend the bottom tier 1. But there's now a 3k advantage the way of Azure. That bottom tier 1 tower is just not going to last. And off the back of these rotations from Ori and FY, this game is really taking a turn on its head quite fast here as G2.iG just not able to keep up with the aggression of Azure.
And they aren't. They have to wait for these items to kick in. Like, the phylactery for Nothing to Say has to come out for him to really start to have more of that burst threat on hand. Monet wants the defusal into the Ags before he's ready to show up as the Slark and start building up some permanent Essence Shift stacks. And no one to really connect to is the big issue here for the side of G2.iG. The one thing they do have, though, is if they do manage to find a fight into a push... Oh,
well, Nothing to Say. We'll be able to get Tianming. In fact, Ori blinked forward. Ori has blink on cooldown for another 4 seconds, so Ori is gone! Ooh, bit of a mistake being made here from our Quap. That's a big death to give away.
There's some recovery coming out. Nothing to Say does get threatened a little bit. Not going to be too worried. Has X-Nova to back him up, of course. And G2.iG, again, they are a team that can find openings quite well. And that's a lot of recovery gold for JT. Just suddenly his blink is within striking distance now. Only 200 gold away. Diffusal up for Monet. So this is the point where the Slark can consider to look for some opportunities if need be. The side of Azure, smoke up instantly. They know Thunder God's Wrath is down. They can try to get a move out. They've got that curse ready to pin someone down here.
Baboka's the only one showing in the mid lane for now, but they are going to head towards that dire jungle. X-Nova now going to break the smoke of Tianming. Nothing to Say is on the right side of them, but they are not going to see him yet. In fact, X-Nova actually going to turn back around thinking he's already dead. Baboka, Nothing to Say, both going to show up. They'll miss the bushwhack though, and Azure will get away with one. ZFY onto Baboka. And the hoodwink getting tipped here by Tianming as he will also go down.
it's it's just Azure starting to feel themselves, of course, and just bantering between each other. They will find the mid-tier 1 off the back of that move. Again, a very successful smoke for Azure. Understanding that some of the threat was taken out when the Thunder God's Wrath was committed for that kill earlier. And they were forced to commit it as well because of that Mage Slayer up on Ori. Like, it just requires so much more burst to take care of the Quap. Still smoke out, blink reveal.
RP though, Ori has been caught. The blink reveal is quite successful here for JT. They will kill Ori a second time within the last couple minutes. And suddenly Azure, like that whole lead they acquired, it's just gone. It's just down to 1k.
That it is. It's fairly neutralized. You still have a nice build-up on low, which you should expect on the Luna here, given her how free Low's lane is and how free his time in the jungle is. So that is good space coming out here for the side of Azure. But again, the key timings are lining up for G2.iG. Like, Monet with the Diffusal can start to set up onto Bach.
Yeah, Bach's going to be chased down now by Monet. X-Nova needs to back off. Ori is moving forward. Monet, Ravage is out, though he does get the target back perfectly timed. Meanwhile, FY actually dying to JT. Across the map. In this top fight, it is all over. Monet gets out scot-free. The Ravage does nothing. And ultimately, G2.iG, they still get away with murder. They still get themselves a support pick-up.
Yeah, I mean, forcing out Ravage is already a really big part for G2.iG to still line up for these next fights. You'll have a window where RP's up and Ravage is down. So you can still look to play. They will just let the top tier 1 go in exchange for the bot. As JT will try to get solo, but does get shoved away with the TPs coming in. It's not quite fully going, although X-Nova's still gunning. Does just blast it down for the team.
Bach? Oh, they won't see him. Bach's alright. G2.iG looking to go through the bottom lane.
Just keep this pressure up. They've got good control down bot. Same thing goes for Azure, playing up top, just invading, getting some farm. Mage Slayer and Bach is up. Mage Slayer is coming out for Monet. You see? You know an item has an issue when everyone buys it.
Absolutely. Nothing to say. Was sprouted by FY for a second, obviously just heavily jumps out, but here comes the rest of G2.iG. They seem to want to fight. FY already been caught by a bushwhack by Baboka. Starbreaker, excuse me, rather Sharpshooter will land. FY is gone. Tianming, he will be closely following his support. And the mid-tier tier 1 tower is just destroyed. G2.iG, this last few minutes just running all over Azure.
I like this understanding, right? Like, we talked about it with Monet after picking up the Diffusal. Can start to join in, and does join in for his team. They've got such great push coming out. Very safe push as well with that Nether Blast on X-Nova. So they can easily translate these pickoffs into some easy tier 1 tower trades. The side of Azure, I mean, they're having to sit back and farm. They're going to need their own blink to be up here for the follow-through for that jump in from Ori. That's going to be on Bach. Mind you, this item timing of Blink and Shard for the Tide is pretty devastating. You're not just going to be able to heavenly jump out. You're not just going to be able to Dark Pact it off. It's undispellable. So it is a really good piece of lockdown, a good piece of kit for Bach if he finds the gold in a timely manner here.
Oh, Bach. Skewer in. Monet. Oh, Ravage is going to be committed. They didn't get the RP up in time. FY is also going to TP in, but there's your Ravage now. JT still alive. X-Nova will heal him up. Meanwhile, Monet being chased down by low with the Eclipse, but Monet is looking okay. So he will make it out. Bach is the one to go down. Monet is still running. Ori will blink forward. Monet, though, with the TP will be fine. In fact, he cancels as well. He knows they're not going to be able to catch him.
Great
Another
reads.
fight going the way of G2.iG.
They're just playing so aggressive off the back of these timings. They know that Azure have to fall back into farm, especially on the Luna. Luna's just not the comfiest to show up early. I mean, she can, but puts her at a lot of risk with all of this magic damage and control here. Monet.
Well, there's a sharpshooter being channeled. It will not connect on anyone, though.
They'd managed to force out some usage on Ori, but has the regen, so he's just going to fully top up. Not the biggest loss in the world here for the side of Azure. Still, the threat is that Monet is ready to go. Like, Mage Slayer up, this guy's so tanky. And you're down Ravage here for this team
Nice
fight.
curse. Very nice curse here with the JT. JT trying to skewer away, barely makes it out. Meanwhile, Ori has died. Ori is already down. FY, he's gone very deep, but nothing to say. We'll find another. Oh, Monet!
Oh!
Yeah, he just kind of jumped in and he just died.
I mean, you can't underestimate the damage there if you are on top of that many heroes. Plus, you have the early shard pickup here from Low, allowing some really nice early activity and just... Oh.
Yeah, no, it's just there we go. I was going to say damage by a top. We've got some stats here, John. Go on.
Yeah, it's something you have to respect, of course, when you jump on top. Shadow Dance doesn't quite cut it all the time. They have enough area damage coming out here. Still, you're more than happy on the side of G2.iG to find that much in exchange. You've got RP back up, although Ravage will be back up in Bach. I believe he has his shard flying out, so Dead in the Water is available, and this is where you have to be a little bit more cautious on Monet in particular. Again, you cannot dispel off the anchor. You will have to hit it. It wastes a lot of time on the Slark, and just makes you so vulnerable, even if you manage to hit this ag. So, I like the solution out from Bach. Just need to see it in action if he manages to catch someone out with Dead in the Water. G2.iG still in a very comfy position outside of Low finding farm, which it feels like that's been the story of this series, right? G2.iG starts to hit action by 15, maybe 12, 15 minutes. They start to go around the map with some early itemization and find everyone but Low, and Low gets to play the farm game. Very similar. That's the one emergent pattern here between both sides. I think it is more pertinent on G2.iG to kind of play into the objectives a little bit more. Kind of utilize this Pugna to its max potential. Just slowly chip away when you can. It's going to be a while until we see any threats of Roche this time around. Unless, again, you get a very nice team fight lined up for you here. For either side, really. But the farm game continues, and Low, he's having a great time. He's playing almost the exact same game he's played in the past 4 games.
Sure is. Low has not stopped hitting creeps. I can only imagine how many creeps he's had throughout this best of 5 series. Certainly in the thousands at the least, we could tell you that. This is mad to style now on Low. Bottom lane. Bach is prepared to try and defend the bottom tier 2 tower, but G2.iG are grouping up. Looks like Tianming will show up to boot. They do not look to go onto the tide. Instead, G2.iG moving into the mid lane where they will find Ori RP. Oh. They've got both Ori and Low. JT! The perfect initiation from JT! He does it again.
That is such a good read. Just posturing down bot. X-Nova just basically solos Tianming as well. I mean, they're getting everything across the map. That's going to be the opening for that siege we were talking about with the Nether Blast. And it does not take too long to threaten onto these towers for the side of G2.iG. Fortify forced out. So going to stall, but probably not going to stop this. Next creep wave is so close by. Should just be able to get that siege they want. They could consider Roshan. They have to respect the Ravage from Bach, but without the blink, his angle into the pit is a little bit rougher. Still respawns are short, so they could just opt to control more of the map. Keep that farm game going. Ag's so close for Monet. At that point, again, it's all about how fast can you catch the Slark. How fast can you either get the Ravage or the Dead in the Water to latch onto this pesky little Slark.
We'll hopefully see soon. For now, I mean, the side of Azure certainly falling quite behind in this game now, 6k behind in fact. Every team fight just working in the favor of G2.iG. FY gonna find Monet, or Monet might find him. Axe almost up here for the Slark. I mean, Low is still top of the net worth board, it just doesn't really feel like he can do much with it at the moment as FY will get caught. Rest of Azure not going to be able to do too much with that. They'll just have to watch the Prophet die.
Yep. We're posturing, but G2IG, again, show great respect for that teamfight potential of the Ravage and the Winter's Curse. They are running down into Roshan. They've got a good position here, again, to just kind of secure the area, and they've got Low ready to go with his Shard as well since a while ago. So, gonna be a nice, easy Roche take. The side of G2IG, they've got Ravage. They've got the smoke. They've got this rear angle to take. Might catch the side of Azure by surprise if they're not cautious.
I mean, it's very hard though, into a Curse, into a Ravage, the Eclipse, it's just so much you have to worry about, but they've got FY already. FY being skilled back by GT and the Sharpshooter, it will snipe him. It's a 5v4 already into this Roshan fight. Bach is moving forward, however Bushwhack will lock him down.
Monet?
Meanwhile, Monet is being chased but can reset in the tree line. Curse is out. It's only caught JT, but they'll pop the Ravage only on one. It's all for JT.
Oh, the
and
healing.
JT's still going to get the RP off.
X-Nova.
JT still gets the RP off. X-Nova. He was there with the life drain. They'll take down Low. Buck is trying to get out. It's just a horrible team fight. Both the Curse and the Ravage only on one, and he's still got what he needed off.
That is concerning for Azure. Like, they go into the Roche pit confidently, they get the scan off as well. But just this kidnapping, JT again, this monster of a man, sniping FY, breaking it up. But they forced the fight in two flanks as well. There's this diversionary movement almost from Monet, who knows how far he can go, who knows how slippery he is. And because Bach opted to chase down JT, they didn't manage to get that dead in the water in a timely manner to hold down Monet. So he gets to reset in that tree line, as you mentioned, and it just falls apart from there. Like, they have to play as a unit. You have to get that control. That's why the Shard's there, specifically for the Slark. And they miss out. Roche goes the way of G2IG instead. 7k advantage now for the Dire side after a slower start. But that's really been the story of the series. G2IG don't mind taking their time to meet these items to start to get that advantage a little bit later on. And the farm of Low doesn't feel like it's panning out yet. The Luna still needs more to really become a threat. Needs more damage. Maybe the Conda buildup can come out after the BKB, perhaps, but they're going to bleed some space out. This Aegis, massive opening for the side of G2IG. And with a Pugna for Siege, it just doesn't take too long to melt any tower.
That it does not. Top T2 tower will be melting rather quickly.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I tell you, this is why you don't give JT this Magnus as well, right? Like this mag, he just does too much work, and
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
they've just thrown so much at this guy, trying to kill him multiple times now, and he just survives every time, whether it be because of him or not. Rotation from Monet and Baboka down towards the southern side of the map that they will barely miss out on Low. You are in dire straits right now as Azure. You're 9k behind, just stuck in the base somewhat. Sure, one team fight can turn this all around, but it just feels like they haven't even had a chance yet.
Not quite. I mean, they've been fighting without a blink up on Bach.
Ori.
He does have that picked up. Oh.
He will blink away. JT was certainly looking for a blink in for an RP, but so Ori did kind of get the idea and backs out.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, that's more than enough to give them the space to, again, just siege with X-Nova. Very low effort push coming in with a siege creep still alive as well. So, all the outer towers gone off the back of one Aegis, the first Aegis for G2IG. Really good tone, playing to that advantage we were talking about. Side of Azure, their high ground defense is scary. It's Ravage, it's Winter's Curse, but they have to work to find that angle. At the least, again, Bach has a blink. So it is easier to find that Ravage positioning. But it just feels so much easier for G2IG because they don't even need to bank for RP. Just look for the Harpoon Skewer back and go from there. And save that RP for a more split up fight. Just go for these pickoffs where the Slark can shine.
Time for FY
FY.
to get caught. Will not even find the Wisdom Rune. JT will take him out.
I like this from JT. Going for the Aether Lens, a little bit more reach for the Skewer, a little bit more as well with the Harpoon, I suppose. So he really just wants to be kidnapping people. See if he actually commits to that build. They will take the Tormentor now on the side of G2.iG, so whose free shard will it be? I think you'd really enjoy something like X-Nova's shard, if at all possible. It will go to Baboka. Still not too bad. Boomerang on a decrep target is going to get burned down by nothing to say, for sure. So that's more to watch out for, like this magical nuking they've done on G2.iG with his Pugna pickup. And the synergy is just fantastic. It's just a great mana battery for nothing to say to play with. It's a great enabler with how much increased magic damage the enemies take. 60% now at max level. And now with Boomerang as well. I mean, without a BKB or Self-Dispel, even with these Mage Slayers, you're likely still to melt on the side of Azure.
Top lane, FY will get jumped. Monet on the chase. FY will try for the TP play out and will make. They ran out of pound charges there for Monet. Sort of juke out from FY. G2.iG still looking to try and find some pickoffs here and move into the high ground. 1 minute left on the Aegis timer. Nobody going to show down on the low ground here from Azure, so it doesn't really seem like the high ground will be attempted. Probably one of those... Oh, they are going to 5-man smoke. Oh, they've got a skewer. Bark does get caught on the tide.
Just
Bark
gone.
is down. He is down for 50 seconds without buyback.
It's a big loss. They still have the curse to fall back to here for Azure if any shenanigans do break out, but you don't have that much time left on the Aegis for Monet. He doesn't really care.
Well, he will respect them enough to back off here. Just not completely willing to just rush the high ground with the Aegis expiring.
There she goes. Do have the refresh being queued up by JT. So double RP, double BKB going to be a possibility here for the side of G2.iG. Azure still needing more on low. And because the map has shrunk so badly, like, he can't just go out and farm. He can just spam out the Manta Illusions for sure. But that pace has come to a bit of a crawl. He's still
Ori?
at a healthy amount of farm.
Ori is underneath vision. He will get out of it now, but they already know exactly where he's gone to. Monet has double pounce charges available. Ori's going to try and get his way out, but he's been caught. Does get a BKB off, still on the run. Monet can keep up with him though. JT pops his own BKB. Accidentally, I believe. As the chase continues here for Ori. Ori creating a lot of space, but the RP eventually going to fly out. They will find the Quap as top lane. FY also being caught here by nothing to say, and he will go down. 2 more kills on both the side lanes happening here for G2.iG. But it does create space for Low to venture out of the base and start farming himself in the Luna.
Yeah, it's important farm to find. Needs the Conda to have some safe, spammable damage here on the Luna. Also gives him access to the Tormentor. So a free shard to come out. Not too bad to find. Shard to go probably Ori's way. He's the only one that lacks one. So freebie shard for the Quap with a blink. A little bit more utility. That Sonic Boom is a fairly big nuisance as an offensive tool as well, even defensive. Still, you have complete control right now on G2.iG. Hex up on Baboka. Even more ways to just pin down a target and get to work. Next objective, likely that Roche. In about a minute, we'll see the respawn timer. And they're going to set their eyes on that. You want a much better Roche take here for the side of Azure. Again, it was way too split up last time around. Monet just forced attention onto himself, and it became really hard to take that fight with Ravage and Curse committed onto one. They need to be able to catch more here on Azure.
That's alright. You take your time to drink some water so I can...
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah. It just sounded like you were crying about the Azure, you know, just things are happening quite badly here for Azure. Obviously, you're getting very emotional, John, after such a long grand final.
Honestly, stuff just went in the wrong pipe, you know. It's
Well,
been happening so often.
I think we could tell, John. Thank you for the explanation.
I am emotional, though. I am emotional. What a series and what a game. And the thing is, when both of these teams go back to play safe like this, you know, after all the farming's done, they go a little bit crazy. So the payoff is always worthwhile. Even though, yeah, you know, we're just waiting for Roche. There's nothing exciting. They're finding pickoffs. They can't pierce high ground. But this is an important farm to find. Like, if Low could start to play, things could change. And Conda is up and running on that Luna. You do have the scaling. Again, the site of Vice already being up in Baboka. A site of Vice being formed up here by Nothing to Say. Refresh inching closer for JT. Monet going on to Zone Disperser. Also not too far off. Things are lining up. 2-minute Roche spawn timer, so it will be set up for up top. More than enough time for Azure as well to try to contest down the line. This time around, though, Azure doesn't have any forward vision on the Roche, but heck, they barely have vision outside their high ground. So contesting is going to be tough. Really good forward ward already set up by G2.iG, right by the hot tub on the top lane. So any sneaky moves from the side of Azure can be spotted out. Let's see if that is something they want to consider. They are inching their way forward, just shoving lanes, and again, just playing cautiously for now.
That they are. Props to Low. He's still finding plenty of farm. Still second in net worth here, only to Nothing to Say.
I wish I had this back in top
Radiant's
three.
top tower is under
Looks like
attack.
they are waiting for the next Roshan. Still 1 minute away from respawning.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I don't know if you can really afford for Azure to leave the next Roshan here to G2.iG, but it feels like they may not have too much of a choice. Seems like they are going to go for a smoke, though. I mean, you do have Tide, Ravage, you do have Winter's Curse. Like, this is a draft that theoretically should do very well in the Roshan.
They get the
Monet's not
scan
even
as
there.
well.
He'll TP now.
Dire are scanning.
This is a risk. They have to find that big opening. Like, if they don't get that big teamfight control onto multiple, it's just dead.
They'll see him, he'll blink in, he won't quite get the Ravage yet. Nothing to Say preemptively getting the BKB off. Bark dropping very low. The Curse, it's not going to save him too much, but they have found Monet with that. Bark's still trying to get a Ravage off, but BKBs are coming out left, right, and center here from G2.iG. Bark still gets it off in the end, finding two with that, but there's no follow-up to it. Meanwhile on RP, they've caught the Wyvern. Ori, he'll pop the Sonic Wave, trying to salvage this team fight, but it's no good. It is no good. Azure, they have lost 5. G2.iG completely wiped the floor with them, and it is Roshan time.
They really had to land much better team fights. Again, very fragmented coming out here from Azure. Great discipline from G2.iG to just stay so split apart that the Ravage and the Winter's Curse just doesn't connect in the way they'd want to. Azure could have also waited just a little bit longer for the full Ags here on FY. That Entangle could have caused some more issues in the middle of the fight, open up more angles to maybe come in for the Ravage, come in for the Curse, but it all falls flat. Those big spells on cooldown, at the least Curse isn't that long, but high ground can begin in earnest for Monet. 30 stacks of the Essence Shift, a lot of Agi to play with, and with the secondary life ready, there's not much to scare Monet away.
They have another Curse up on Tian Ming. He could try to make some kind of maneuver with that. JT, another skewer back to the Curse is going to fly out, but I think Bark is still looking pretty damn screwed as Monet is going to pounce on him. The Tide is just melting to the damage output of the Slark. They have not gone through him quite yet. Monet still moving forward for this kill, and Bark is officially now down. No buyback. Onto Ori they go. Monet will eventually pounce out. One Rax up now is G2.iG. Oh, FY?
Oh!
FY! Also caught, will drop.
Yeah, that's gonna be another Rax. Like, there's just no two ways about it. No Curse. When Tidehunter does respawn, when Bach is back up, Ravage is there. But there's just no easy angle. You've got the BKB ready to go on low, off cooldown. can try to run up with a Ravage, knowing that a couple, but they did manage to hold on to their own. BKB.
Oh, he's got the RP. He's found the Luna, but the BKB was there from low, making sure they cannot follow up on this. Though JT has refreshed. He'll go in again, looking for Ori, forcing another BKB. You say what you will, John. This man's forcing everyone's BKB, just making it impossible for them to fight.
That he is. They still hold on to the Aegis. They'll go back for a quick reset. Maybe respecting the Tidehunter coming back up here. I have to say, X-Nova has been doing God's work on this Pugna. The decrep saves on those Winter's Curses. You have to find the backline. Right? So it feels like the best opener right now for Azure has to be this Ravage on Bach. Like, this is their ace in the hole. They've got to be able to go in with that, try to get the follow-up curse onto a bigger clump up from the side of G2.iG, but it's just not coming out.
Monet in again, FY, the target Ravage has been committed. It will land on 2. Monet, he does lose the Aegis. Also committed his BKB, so he doesn't have that available any longer. Low will commit the Eclipse, but the pounce away is there. Curse, however, is onto X-Nova. That'll be 1 down. They'll even find Baboka. Meanwhile, JT, he does find Ori. So the Quap is down. There is a buyback though, Ori. He'll come back into the team fight. But G2.iG are retreating. They are not interested in fighting any further. They are happy with the buyback committal. And you keep in mind, they only have 1 lane of barracks left for Megas, so they don't really need to rush too much.
No. No need to fight in that area as well. Like, there's nothing to do on the mid. So might as well try to re-angle for a bot fight. The Curse this time being highly effective, they do manage to target down the save, so Tianming just finds that Pugna in a really awkward spot. Does make the most of it. But the 29k lead for the side of G2.iG is still a massive threat.
Ori.
Oh! Oh,
wait a minute! JT! Got the old harpoon usage after the blink.
Yep. It doesn't disjoint, so you're in for a really long fishing line.
It is harpoon after all, you know. They don't just disjoint in reality either.
Yeah, but why do daggers disjoint? If they're why do homing missiles disjoint?
Nobody throws daggers in real life, John. Right?
I'm pretty sure people do, but very dangerous people do. Okay?
Yeah.
I thought you liked ninjas. What are you talking about?
Not since Boruto, John. Not since Boruto.
Don't you dare talk smack about Boruto, Mike.
I would never. G2.iG, they'll go through the top lane. 31k advantage. 97% chance win probability here for G2.iG. Good to see that's working this game.
Script was thrown out of the window after the last one, Mike. Script writers got fired.
Yeah.
I think, oh, that's a big career to find. He is already queuing for the Divine, so...
I mean, he feels like he needs it, but his Sacred Relic's gone for 3 minutes now. That sucks if you're the Luna, because he had a free slot ready for it to boot. In fact, he had the gold for the whole thing too.
I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been both items being gone, or could have accidentally assembled it.
But he's got a free slot, John. Just look at this Luna.
Now, I'm saying he could have bought out the damage along with it and lost a Divine.
Oh, JT! He's got Ori. Ori is barely going to make it out. Meanwhile, Tianming, no curse out yet. Bark, he'll pop the Ravage. They'll try onto the Mag, but JT, he will survive again off the Decrepify of X-Nova. They could just not kill anyone.
No.
Like, this Pugna's just sitting back and just Decrepifying everybody.
Yeah, just giving that good life drain out to every single one. No Ravage, no threat. It's only the Curse left. And they could just throw... They could just throw Monet up front without care. If there's no one around, there's no Curse to worry about.
Jump in, JT. It's the harpoon, but the blink away was there from Buck. T3 tower gone. G2.iG not going to rush it. Will reset on Monet. FY is cutting the bottom creep wave, so they won't have creeps coming in from the bottom lane, but they do from the mid. JT again forcing another BKB. Curse is out. They have caught the Slark with this one, but can they lock him down? I don't think they can. Monet's going to turn around. Low is gone, but he will buy it back. It's still looking real bad for Azure in this best of 5 grand final. G2.iG, one more fight will do it. Buck, ooh, gets the blink away again. He's okay.
And he is, but buyback for low feels so awkward. He's necessary to clear out the creep wave shoving in on mid and top, but without Eclipse, without BKB for 50 seconds, he doesn't have a window to just stand in front. The threat of skewer back from JT is higher than ever. He'll just make the siege up again. RP, second you should still ready here.
The Quantum JT, he's got the skewer. He's got the skewer. Low's been caught out. Low, the one guy that cannot afford to die, but he is down. It might be it. It may just be it, or he's been caught to boot. It is over. GG is called. GG is called. G2.iG, they've done it. All the way to 5 games, but they make it work. They are going to ESL One Birmingham. And sadly for Azure, they are going to have to stay home, but what a fight they put up.
What a fight indeed. What a series between both of these teams. Magnus.
Magnus
Yeah,
is the call from JT.